Comfort Sendia Berhad is a well-known furniture company. Zahir, who operated a tuition center, purchased 20 chairs and 20 tables from the company. He was given a credit period of 30 days. The company delivered 20 chairs and promised to send the 20 tables as ordered by Zahir at a later date. However, Zahir failed to pay after the credit period ended, and as a result, Comfort Sendia Berhad refused to deliver the 20 tables. Zahir claimed the 20 tables. The company refused to deliver the 20 tables and demand payment for the 20 chairs. Advice Comfort Sendia Berhad.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Mahikal bin Rahmat. Okay, based on this case, we can summarize into three issues. Okay, first one is whether Comfort Sendia Berhad can consider as an unpaid seller when Zahir fails to pay for the price of 20 chairs and 20 tables after the credit period of 30 days. Number two, whether Comfort Sendia Berhad can sue Zahir due to the failure to settle the payment of 20 chairs and 20 tables. And last one is whether Comfort Sendia Berhad can claim compensation from Zahir for the failure to settle the price of 20 chairs and 20 tables after the credit period of 30 days. So this case is related to the sale of good 1975. There are two categories of remedies which are breached by the buyer and breached by the seller. For breached by the buyer, there are three situations, which is the failure of buyer to take delivery, the failure of buyer to pay the goods, and the failure of buyer to accept the goods. Okay, so in this case, it's more to the second situation, which is the failure buyer to take delivery. So in section number 44, say where the seller is ready and willing to deliver the goods and request to the buyer take delivery, and the buyer does not take delivery of the goods, he is liable for any loss occasioned by his neglect and or refusal to take delivery, and also for a reasonable charge for care and custody of the goods.
My name is Ilya Amira, student ID 2019205922. I will continue this presentation. For the second situation is the failure of buyer to pay for the goods. If the buyer failed to pay for the price of the goods, the seller may sue the buyer for the price. For example, when the property in the goods or ownership has passed to the buyer under section 55 bracket 1, where the property in the goods has passed to the buyer and the buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay, the seller may sue him for the price. Second example, when the price is payable on certain day but the buyer failed to pay on that day irrespective of delivery, or the property in the goods has not passed to the buyer under section 55 bracket 2, where the price is payable on certain day irrespective of delivery and the buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay for such price, the seller may sue him for the price although the property in the goods has not passed. The third situation is the failure of buyer to accept the goods under section 56, where the buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to accept and pay for the goods. The seller may sue him for damages for non-acceptance. Next point for this case is right or remedies for an unpaid seller. Unpaid seller, according to section 45 bracket 1, means when the whole of the price has not been paid, or when a bill of exchange or other negatable instruments which has been received by the seller as a conditional payment is dishonored. An unpaid seller has two kinds of rights or remedies, which are right in personam and right in rem. Right in personam are the common remedies available for the unpaid seller against the buyer. Under this kind of remedies, the unpaid seller has the right to sue the buyer for the price or to sue the buyer for damages for non-acceptance.
My name is Ilyas and I'm going to continue explaining for the law of this case. Right in rem are kind of remedy for the unpaid seller in respect of the goods themselves. These remedies are provided under section 46 bracket 1. There are three remedies for unpaid seller that are right of lien under section 46 bracket 1a, right of stoppage in transit under section 46 bracket 1b, and right of resale under section 46 bracket 1c. So what is right of lien under section 46 bracket 1b? Right of lien is when the unpaid seller who is in possession of the good is entitled to retain possession until payment of the price. This right exists even when the properties in good has not been passed to the buyer, but the delivery has not been made. If properties in good has not passed to the buyer, the seller may withhold delivery in addition to his other remedies. Refer to section 46 bracket 2. Where the properties in good has not passed to the buyer, the unpaid seller has, in addition to his other remedies, a right of withholding deliveries similar to his right of lien and stoppage in transit, where the properties has passed to the buyer. Next is the right of stoppage in transit under section 50. It is when the buyer becomes insolvent. The unpaid seller who has parted with the possession of the good has the right of stopping them in transit. That is to say, he may resume possession of the goods as long as they are in the course of transit and may retain them until payment of the price. And the last right of unpaid seller is right of resale, section 54. Give unpaid seller right of resale in the following circumstances: where the goods are of a perishable nature, where the unpaid seller who has exercised his right of lien or stoppage in transit has given notice to the buyer of his intention to resell, but the buyer fails to pay the price within reasonable time after receiving such notice. Where the sell, and the third is where the seller expressly in the contract reserve a right of resale in the case of buyer fail to pay off for the price.
Hi, hello. So let us see the application for this case. In this case, Confessor Bahar is considered as an unpaid seller as provided by Section 45 because Zahir fails to pay for the price of 20 chairs and 20 tables after the credit period of 30 days. Therefore, Confessor Bahar can sue Zahir for this, and they can refuse to send the rest of the tables that Zahir ordered. Also, Confessor Bahar can claim compensation for the 20 chairs that they sent to Zahir in the early period of 30 days.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Anis Karmila binti Ahmad Rizani. I will be presenting to you the conclusion of the case. In conclusion, a seller becomes an unpaid seller when either he or she has not been paid in full payment, or the buyer has failed to meet the maturity date of the bills of exchange or any other negotiable instrument accepted by the seller as a condition of payment. In addition, the condition of a seller to be an unpaid seller is when the seller of goods must be unpaid and must have immediate rights of action for the price of goods. Other than that, if the buyer did not pay or refuse to accept for the goods, then the seller can sue him or her for the damages that have been caused by the buyer. Also, if the seller has exercised his rights of lien or stoppage in transit, he can resell the goods after giving notice to the buyer, and the new buyer will have goods title to the commodities. Lastly, the seller has the right to sue the buyer for the failure to pay the requisite amount as well as lien.